Welcome back everybody to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a game that I noticed on Twitter the other day because there was this trend or this thing that everybody was doing where they posted their indie game and then the 3 games that inspired it. And obviously that's going to catch some eyes because when you see a game that's inspired by Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, but also Final Fantasy 12, now that is a big deal. So this is Septa Road Voyager, which admittedly is a pretty ridiculous ripoff of Octopath Traveler. Like it's literally like when my students, I tell them to write things in their own words, and they just use a thesaurus to change like what they're reading word for word into something else. So still not their own words, but you know, no offense if the developer sees that. It's just, you know, gotta call it like I see it. But I am incredibly interested in this game, so I do have positive things to say about it. That's why I'm making this video. So let's take a look at kind of the information that we have so far. And by the way, this is a successful post for them because they say here, thanks to the inspiration post we made, we've gained over 150 followers in just 48 hours. And so the support and interest in the game that draws inspiration from Final Fantasy XII's Gambit system has been great to see. And so I'll admit that was something that drew me to it immediately because I played Final Fantasy 12 maybe a couple of years ago, and afterwards I really wanted to play more games like Final Fantasy 12. And there aren't that many games that have that kind of real time, but with like a little bit of ATB mixed in, but you still like select like attack and magic and, you know, items and whatever, and but that has the depth of the Gambit system as well. Like there's a few games that are like that, and I've tried out a few games, but this is very, very much inspired by it. So let's go take a look at what that actually looks like on the Steam page. So it kind of gives me some Ragnarok like online vibes from the screenshots, but when we look at it, you can see down at the bottom we've got ATP or ATB, right, charging up attacks here, and we've also got HP and MP, and then there's 4 different characters that we can see that are rolling around here on this cool. Like honestly, I don't mind if a game has good gameplay. I'm not going to be, you know, too worried about the graphics. It looks like a pretty fleshed out world and town, people to talk to, etc. So very cool. It even has a license style board, like suspiciously similar to Final Fantasy 12. And then a Gambit system that is, you know, blue for on, or not for on, sorry, blue, red, and then the grayed out for off. Like, again, very, very similar. But that is what we're hoping for. That is what people want, okay? And then some nice little equipment screen here with some more details so you can see exactly what it is that you're doing. So let's see, what does the trailer look like? Okay, so here is Septa Road Voyager announcement trailer pre-alpha footage. So we can see there's character creation. There's a bunch of different characters that you can recruit. That's the Septa Road part of it. And that as you progress through the world, you are just going to be attacking things as they come at you. Depending on your gambits, your party will just start using the different attacks that you set up for the different situations. They won't heal unnecessarily because you're going to very specifically set up how they're going to heal, how they're going to fight. This type of game is really fun because you can really make your party super efficient, and it feels like you still have a lot of control over what's going on. Like, yes, people are doing things automatically, but it's based on the effort that you put in. One other thing there, I just want to say, I really love the portrait work in this game. It looks super, super cool. Really pleased for that. So this game, if we went back to the Twitter, you'd see they have other shots of, you know, people you know, going through dungeons, fighting a boss, using big magic spells, like you name it, all that kind of stuff. When we look at it, I don't think this was in early access the last time I checked. It is in early access now. And here would be my major thing is that an early access game at $28.99 for an indie game, I mean, that's a full price in my eyes. And I don't mean to disparage how hard this person or group of people I don't know for Rockwell Studios has worked, but For early access, this is a really high price. I personally think that's my opinion. I wouldn't buy it at that price. And I'm really interested in this game because it's early access, and early access games often do still have, maybe they need to polish some parts of it, or there's still some bugs they have to figure out, or whatever it is. So I would be a little bit concerned about early access. But when we scroll down here, so they have the details about the actual game, we can see the reviews are pretty good. So we've got 24 positive, 3 negative, but overall, like it's looking like people that have played this are enjoying it. And there's actually some pretty lengthy reviews that you can check out if you want to see. Despite these reviews looking overall positive, I'm still gonna wait and kind of learn more about this game before I would jump into it. But it's 100% on my radar, and this is on the browser version of Steam, so it doesn't have my account logged in. But I have already wishlisted it as well. Like it's on my radar, and I want to see how it progresses when it comes out of early access. And part of the reason for that is that I went onto the Rockwell Studios website and I noticed that they actually already have a game out. It's called Himo Sutori, and it's already available on Steam. And this is not in early access. It's actually 75% off right now, $5.44. And it is a tactical turn-based RPG that is kind of like part ogre battle, part tactics ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics, like kind of mixing a whole bunch of stuff in here. Because basically what we have is we have a game that uses a grid-based system with turn-based things, but each grid can have up to 10 characters in it. So it's like a squad, like ogre battle. And when they go into fight, it is going to be again based on this like, pre-set up gambit equipment, whatever composition stuff that you do before the battle, and then you'll see what happens during the battle. And a game that's similar to that is incredibly popular right now, which is Unicorn Overlord. Now that is an incredibly polished game that is heavily inspired by Ogre Battle, but this has a lot of similarities to it. So looks pretty cool. The one thing I'll say right away is that you can see the character portraits are a lot different from their new game. Their new game, they spent a little more time on the character portraits. These ones aren't looking so great, but the actual sprites look super cool. The fact that it's a tactical game, I'm all for it. And you can see there's some pretty large scale battles happening here, and some cool enemy sprites, etc. So lots of things that look good here, but there's some things I'm a little bit concerned about. So this game came out of early access, and there's a lot of reviews that kind of mention that maybe it shouldn't be out of early access. So we see the reviews here, 167 that are positive and 60 that are negative. So it is mostly positive. When you read the negative ones, like you kind of parse through the ones that are like ridiculous and they don't really, mean very much. You skip positive and negative reviews that have an incredibly low amount of playtime on them. But when you see people saying there's bugs, or that it's not polished, it's just missing that extra thing. People saying that, they don't want to give it a negative review, then that is where you have like a little bit more of a concern. And so that kind of behavior of, we were in early access, now we're not. It's super cheap right now, but it's $21.79 when it's not on sale. And there's a soundtrack you can buy. That is slightly concerning to me, but both these games look really cool. They're both games that I'm actually interested in. I've wishlisted this one as well on my Steam account, but this is another game that I'm very curious if they're still working on. And so maybe the person that's making this will see it, or maybe I can tweet at them or something and get some more information. But I'm really curious because they're working on a whole new game. It's in early access right now. When Septa Road Voyager comes out of early access, are they going to stop working on that? And it's very, hopefully not, because it's very competitively priced for an indie game. But I guess we'll see. So if anyone's played either of these games, you can let me know what you think. But otherwise, I'm at a wait and see right now, and I think people probably should be too. But is there actually, what? No, there's no demo. If there's a demo, I will definitely try the demo for sure. But right now, for both these games, we're not looking at any demos. Just double checking the Septa Road. right now? No, it's just early access. Okay, cool. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. I know people are, you know, maybe wondering where some of my reviews are, because I played, you know, Aiden Chronicle. I've been playing Unicorn Overlord as well. Those games are hard for me to play with my head. Still hurting a little bit, so it's easier just to make a video on some news that I saw. But I will be putting out reviews for both those games as soon as I can play them enough to really give my opinion. So I love both games, by the way. So we'll get those out as soon as I can. Otherwise, thanks for coming by, and we'll see you all in another video.